Hello, everyone. I've had a couple requests from students to post a video reminding them how they can share one of their Google Docs with a classmate or with another teacher so that those people can view or edit or make some comments about their work. Here's how it works. First, I choose the document. I've created a document here called Share Test Document. This works with Google Docs. Of course, it works with slides or Sheets or any other Google program. I'm going to open it up, make sure that I do have the right document. And what I'll notice is in the very top right-hand side, right under my email address, there is a button that says Share. Right now, that Share button shows a locked padlock, which means that that document is private only to me at this point. I'm not sharing it with anyone else. If I am sharing it with someone else, there'll be a little note there saying you are sharing this with, and you'll get the name of the person, or at very least, they'll say you're sharing it with one other person. When I want to share this, I'm going to click on the blue button, and a window will pop up. Now, what this gives me is it gives me a place where I can enter the email address of anyone I want to share with. I can actually enter any email address, not necessarily Gmail addresses, but when a person receives this file, this shared file from me, if they don't have a Gmail account where they can open this, or a Google Drive account where they can open this, they won't be able to get access to it. So you really should make sure before you send it that they have a Google account themselves, or else there's not really any point. Now, once I enter their name, I'm going to use a colleague's name here, his email address. Often it will give me their name. I can see the name there. I have the option to add more than one person, but for now I'm just going to send it to one colleague. And I've got three options for how I want to send it. The top option is can edit. That means that they can go into the document and make any changes. It's important for students and everyone to remember that once the changes are made in a shared document, they're made everywhere. So this file is not a separate file that my colleague is getting or that a student would be getting from you students. It's the one and only file. So if you click edit, and another person makes changes in the document they get from you, those changes will automatically show up in your file. So really the only time you're going to choose edit is if you are working with a collaborator on a document and you trust them to make the appropriate changes that they need to make. Otherwise, you're not really ever going to click edit, even for pure editing students, because that's just another person changing your work. It also gives them complete ownership over your work. So again, if you click edit, they have just as much right to this document as you do, and they can invite other people to look at it, and they can share it other places, and they can take credit for it if they want to. So you need to choose wisely. Can comment is a good feature. It's an ability for me to go into my, share the document with someone else who can go in, can make suggested comments in my document or suggested changes, but I get the final say about whether I want to approve those changes or not. So that's the perfect setting for pure editing. Okay, when you have a file that's all your own, but you want someone, a peer, a teacher, somebody to help you with the editing process. And then finally, the last one is can view. Can view is specifically for if you want someone to see a file but not be able to make or suggest any changes. You just literally want them to see the file that you're sending. I'm going to choose can edit, okay, because I wouldn't possibly collaborate. I can write a note. Hello, thanks for looking at this. And if I'm comfortable, I'm going to press send. Now what I'll notice when I go to the up right-hand side is I no longer have a padlock. I have a little person with another person. So it says now shared with one person. So now this is a shared document, completely shared, and we both have rights to it. Let's say that we made a mistake, we sent it to the wrong person, or we no longer need to share this document. We want to remove those rights. I'm going to press the share button again. And instead of entering any new information here, I'm going to go down to the bottom right corner where it says advanced. Advanced gives me a link where I can send it through an email if I want people to be able to access it through an email. It lets me change the access point of my document, and it shows who has access to the document. If I press change here, it gives me a variety of options for how public I want my document to be. It's really important that you know what those privacy settings are and that you understand them so that you can use them effectively. If I don't want to change there, I just simply want to remove this person. I can either change them from editing to can view, So I've made a change so that my colleague can now only view the document, not change it. Or if I really want them to be out of there, I can simply press the X beside their name and they are removed. So that person is no longer a shared editor of my document, and they don't even have access to view it anymore. Down at the bottom, there's a couple important settings, and I encourage you to take a look at them. But the first thing I always need to do is save my changes. So once I delete that person, I have to press Save Changes, or the delete is not final. I always have to make sure of that. Now I can look at these other settings. This one says prevent editors from changing access and adding new people, meaning if I click on this button, then even if I send somebody my document as a co-editor, they can't change the access and remove it from me, nor can they add new people to take a look at it. It's just shared between me and them. And this one also says disable options to download, print, and copy for commenters and viewers. So this would be, for example, if I wanted someone to look at a file, but I didn't want them to download it in their computer, to print it, or to copy it for themselves. Probably not a big issue, but important to know. So that I would click on that and they would not be able to do any of those things. They would only be able to view it on their computer, and that's it. And of course, once again, if I made those changes, I have to press Save Changes. So when I'm done, I go back up. The padlock has returned to my share button. And as I can see, it is private and private only to me. If I close this window, I'll just show you that you can also do all of those steps right out of this menu by clicking on the Share Test Document button there. Okay, hope that was helpful. Good luck in your sharing.